and welcome to the lesson about writing a summary of nonfiction. Summarizing and being able to summarize pieces is a really super important skill for all students, and sometimes students find it very easy to summarize a story because you can think about the different events and what led to each part. However, nonfiction is not always so easy for students, so we're going to go through today looking at some of the different strategies for how to write a summary of nonfiction. What essential questions will we cover today? Basically, what is a summary? What makes a good summary? And how can I write a summary of nonfiction? So let's jump right in. What is a summary? Is a summary A? A summary is all of the ideas from a text written in your own words. B, a summary is your opinions about a text. C, a summary is a shortened form of a text with all of the main ideas. Or D, a summary is a review of a text with main ideas and your opinions. Did you guess C? If you did, you got it right. A summary is a shortened form of a text with all of the main ideas. So why do we write summaries? Readers can write a summary of a text to let someone else know the main ideas. We also write summaries to help you understand it. As you figure out the most important ideas, your brain is engaged in understanding the text. Students will often write summaries as a school assignment, and summaries are also included on many tests to see how well you understood a test. How long should a summary be? Well, that really depends. There's never a really right answer for that. A summary should be the length depending on the original text. It certainly should always be shorter than the original text and shouldn't include any information that wasn't part of the original text. Here are 4 basic rules for writing a summary of nonfiction. First, you want to make sure that you include the important ideas from the text. Second, you want to make sure that you put those ideas into your own words. Third, you want to make sure you leave out little details and repeated information. And fourth, use the text structure of the text to try to help you create the summary. Include important ideas from the text. This is easy to say, but sometimes hard to do. As you read, it's important to think about what ideas are most important to the author. So let's look at this article about butterflies. 2 paragraphs here. Many butterflies depend on certain plants to survive. As adults, butterflies drink nectar, but caterpillars eat leaves. Some caterpillars only eat the leaves of specific plants. Monarch caterpillars, for example, eat only milkweed. If butterflies cannot find the food source they need for their eggs, the next generation will not survive. When habitats are changed, such as when wetlands are drained or forests are cleared, butterfly populations may drop dramatically. According to the Xerces Society, an invertebrate conservation group, over 50 kinds of U.S. butterflies are at risk. Take a minute to go back and reread if you need to understand the 2 paragraphs. Now let's move on. Even though you might have some personal connection with some of the ideas, maybe you love butterflies, maybe you have a butterfly tattoo, you need to focus on what's important to the author, not necessarily what's important to you. Look for the topic sentences and the big ideas. Here we go. Many butterflies depend on certain plants to survive. Some caterpillars only eat the leaves of specific plants. If butterflies cannot find the food source they need for their eggs, the next generation will not survive, and 50 kinds of U.S. butterflies are at risk. These are our big ideas. Do you agree that these are the big ideas? Do you think there should be any others in there? Do you think we missed something? Let's keep moving. Finding important ideas. What strategies do you use to find important ideas in a text? One strategy that many students like to use is called the 5-finger strategy. The first finger, your thumb, is for your main idea or your topic sentence. Then you want to go back and think about 4 ideas that you remember without looking at the text as important to that paragraph or to the text. Those ideas are most likely going to be your biggest supporting details in a text. Of course, not everybody wants to or needs to use their fingers. You can also take notes on a piece of paper to help you remember those details and also to use when writing your summary. Why do you think it's important to remember supporting details when writing a summary? Of course, remembering the key details is important. It proves that you comprehended and understood what you've just read. What makes a good summary? Number 2 here is putting the ideas into your own words. Remember, you don't want to repeat everything that you've read word for word. You kind of want to get it into your own words, which is also called paraphrasing. Instead of just copying down the author's words, we need to use our own words. Can you paraphrase this sentence from the text? Many butterflies depend on certain plants to survive. So let's think about it. Here's a hint. Try using synonyms for important words. Many butterflies depend on certain plants to survive. Can you change depend on certain to another word or phrase? Can you change survive to another word or phrase? Or maybe try changing the order of the ideas. Many butterflies depend on certain plants to survive. Could you change the order around in there? Here's one way to paraphrase the sentence. How does it compare to yours? Butterflies need specific plants to live. The original text said, many butterflies depend on certain plants to survive. So we changed specific to certain. We changed live or survive to live. There are some words you can't change when you paraphrase. These keywords are the most important words from the passage. So think about from the past passage, what were the most important words? Obviously, we need to keep butterflies, right? We also need to keep the idea that they need something, certain food or specific food. Oh, wait, they also need food. Okay, so butterflies need food. Those are going to be our key words that we definitely want to keep when we're paraphrasing. What makes a good summary? Part 3. Leave out little details and repeated information. Small details can be trivial details. They might be interesting but are not important to the main ideas of the passage. We do not need to include these small details in our summaries. What small details do you notice? Go back and reread through the paragraphs again. Which parts can you X out and still perfectly understand the main ideas and the topics of these paragraphs? Did you get this one in the first paragraph? That monarch caterpillars, for example, eat only milkweed? It's a great example, and I think everybody loves monarchs, but it's probably not something that we needed to understand that caterpillars only eat specific plants. What other small details do you notice? Look in the second paragraph now. Did you get that part about the Xerxes Society? It's even fun to say, or hard to say, depending on where you come from. 2 X's in one word. I think that might be one of the only words out there with that. That is definitely extraneous information. You definitely do not need to put the Xerxes Society and who they are in your summary. Repeated ideas. Authors also might repeat ideas. When the same idea is restated, we only need to include it in a summary once. What makes a good summary? Part 4. Use the text structure of the text. The text structure of a text refers to how the text is organized. We've talked about organization of text before. We really focused on the organizational techniques such as subheadings and headings. If you go back to your cheat sheet, you will see that there's organization of ideas. And if you see here, this really reflects those. So sometimes when you're looking at making a summary, you can depend on that text organization of ideas to help you build your summary. Some of the different ways that text can be organized include description, cause and effect, chronological order, problem solution, compare and contrast. When you look at the text of a structure, you can find the big ideas and see how to organize your summary. Think about the article we've been looking at here. What is the text structure? We start off with the main idea of many butterflies depend on certain plants to survive. Then we go to if butterflies cannot find the food source they need for their eggs, the next generation will not survive. Can you figure out? Can you go back and look? If you need to, reverse or rewind the recording and try to figure out which one of these 5 is the type of organizational order for this article. Did you get it? Overall, this paragraph shows the text structure of cause and effect. We talk about the need for them to have specific food and specific plants, and then we talk about if butterflies can't find the food, then their next generation will not survive. Here would be the cause, here would be the effect. In your summary, you should show the cause and effect. It'll help you build your summary as well. So what makes a good summary? What do you remember about the 4 rules for writing a good summary? Include the important ideas from the text, put ideas into your own words, leave out little details and repeated information, and use the text structure of the text. Now it's your turn. Look back at that butterfly text. Can you write a summary? This is what you are going to be doing. Whoops, I went too far. This is what you're going to be doing as today's exit ticket. You're going to go back into the classroom, and I'm going to give you your own room. I will give you this slide with a copy of the little excerpt, the passage about butterflies that we've read today, and you are going to write your own summary. Please don't forget to put your name on the slide so that you get credit, and make sure that you get this done because it does count for today's attendance. That's it. Have a fantastic day. If you have any questions, let me know.